Hi, I'm Shay Primus, and this is Upper Echelon. In this podcast, we talk about sex, we talk about intimacy, we talk about relationships, we talk about singleness and dating, all of the above, because I'm a matchmaker, and that's what we do. Tonight, I have a guest, Miss Nikkita Grady,
Hello.
and she is a postpartum sex and intimacy coach. Welcome,
Yes.
Nikkita.
Yes, thank you for having me.
Absolutely.
I am so excited.
So
Lot
excited
to
to
talk
have
about.
you. Yeah, so postpartum sex and intimacy coach.
Yes.
So you help women who just had children to get their groove back.
Yep.
Okay, tell
Yep.
us about that.
So, do you want the backstory first of how
Give
we
me
got
everything.
here? Okay, so I've been pregnant 4 times.
Okay.
I have 2 living children. After my 3rd pregnancy, which is my daughter Empress, you've met her.
Yes.
After my 3rd pregnancy, my sex drive completely went away, and it's crazy because I literally masturbated every single day for the entire 3rd trimester.
Every day while pregnant.
Every single day while pregnant in my 3rd, and then once I had her, it was gone.
You had no sex drive.
None. I didn't want to be touched. I didn't want to masturbate. I didn't even want to look at a sex toy, and I'm in this industry, so
Girl, I don't want that.
it was probably around the 6-month mark postpartum when I was like, okay, Nikkita, you have all of these toys that you have to review. You need to test them out.
Yeah, because I bought my rose.
Yes. Right.
Yeah.
So, and I like to test out products because when people ask me for an opinion, I like to be honest. I tell them if I don't like something and why. I tell them if I do like something, I let them know if I feel like it's for an intermediate or a novice or whatever the case may be. Right. So, expert masturbators or whatever, but I do let them know what I feel like would be the best product based off of my experience. So I was like, okay, you have work to do. So I was like, okay, just do it. Just masturbate, just try this toy out, and maybe you can still give a pretty decent review.
So you wasn't getting anything
No, I was just there like,
Wow.
the more that I did it, the more that my sex drive started to come back. And then, like, after maybe about 2 weeks, like, she was ready, okay? So, during that time, I did a little bit of research, and I wasn't able to come up with a whole lot that worked for me in terms of how to get your sex drive back. The doctor is like, oh, it'll just come back. That's normal. Your hormones are fluctuating, this, that, and the third. And so I felt like it wasn't going to just come back. It's been 6 months. This didn't happen during my first 2 pregnancies. I've never heard anybody talk about this, like what is happening. So I started to do the work. And I noticed that, and then I started to do other things like actually seriously explore my body, my erogenous zones, my hot spots. They changed; they weren't the same. My nipples used to be my biggest hot spot. Like you could touch my nipples, and I was like ready, and like just like that. But then I breastfed. And so, to me, breasts weren't sexualized; they were maternalized.
I breastfed Ava for 2 years, so I get it. It's not sexual at that moment because you've been nurturing a baby with you. Yes.
That, and also when you breastfeed, it lowers your estrogen levels. So this causes vaginal dryness. You saw my post today. I put up a post saying that just because you can get it wet doesn't mean you don't need lubricant. And one of the things that I talked about is a reason that you could experience vaginal dryness is because of breastfeeding, and that is why, because of the dip in your estrogen.
And nobody tells you
No one tells you that.
Listen, I have never used lube in my life. Ever. So like, why should everybody be using
Everybody
lube?
should be using lube.
I thought it was just for anal sex, or if you don't get it wet,
why.
if you don't have WAP, then you need.
So here's what happens. Sometimes you can be in the middle of sex and something can just happen. Maybe your mind drifted to the dirty laundry or something, and now you're not aroused anymore. If you dry up just like that, but you had lube, it would help keep that.
It going.
Yeah.
Okay.
Also, if you're using condoms,
it'll dry it up.
No. Oh. It depends on what kind of lube that you use, but lube also helps not cause friction.
Okay,
so you're not breaking the condom and you're not causing tears in your vaginal area.
Okay, good.
These tears are like microscopic. So, and the same thing actually happens when you brush your teeth and then give oral. You're not supposed to brush your teeth right before giving oral.
Really?
Because your toothbrush can cause microscopic tears in your gums.
And what happens if you do it after you brush your teeth? What? You have tears and then what?
No, there's not you may have tears. It can happen. So if you have these microscopic tears in your gum, and then you go perform head on somebody, if they have an STD or something like that, it makes you more susceptible.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Yeah, so that's why you shouldn't do it, right? It's also why it's important to know your status.
Oh, you know your status. Speaking of that, girl, I am on PrEP, and I'm telling you, that has changed my life. That's a whole nother conversation. But more people need to know about PrEP.
Absolutely.
Because I think they market PrEP to the gay population, but if you're out here in these streets, dating, you need to be. Really, some people who married need to be on PrEP, truth be told, because you don't know what's happening.
Right.
A lot of people are in open marriages, open relationships, poly, all that. Be on PrEP because what you don't want is to catch something you can't cure.
As my mama used to say, you're gonna mess around and catch something you can't wash off in the bathtub.
Exactly. No, so I am on PrEP, and it is. I feel so free. You know, it's like it's empowering to have that control. Right. Yeah. Right. So anyway, go back to your story.
So basically, having that experience where I wasn't able to find the resources that I needed to get me back to where I wanted, because I wanted to have sex. I wanted to want it. Right. I wanted to feel sex. I didn't feel sexy at all.
Wow.
Like, not even a little bit. Even it got so bad that even in pictures with my daughter, I didn't feel pretty. Like, postpartum is real. And people will not talk about that. Men can also get postpartum depression, so I can touch on that in a little bit. But anyway, so I went through this process, and I'm like, I can't be the only one experiencing this, right? So I began to journal. Never been a fan of journaling. So glad that I did, because I was able to go back and reflect and see what worked, see what didn't work, and I was able to put together a structure for my clients.
Wow.
But then fast forward to my last pregnancy. I was pregnant for 8 weeks, 6 days. I had a miscarriage.
Oh, wow.
We tried for 6 more months to conceive again and was unsuccessful. Wow. But during those 6 months postpartum, it took a huge toll on our relationship. So much so that our relationship did end. We've had a conversation since then, and we've been able to talk. And he said for him, it was like, I was just in it to get, he was like, it became a chore trying to conceive. Right. And he was like, instead of us just letting it happen naturally. And he said, what did he say? I'm sorry. He was like, he felt like, in addition to me making it a business, there was no intimacy whatsoever. It literally was, I'm ovulating, let's do it. We lived 6 hours apart, so I was in a long distance relationship. And because we only saw each other once a month at the time, of course, if we're trying to conceive, I'm trying to go when I'm ovulating. And so that's something else that's not talked about often. Like, postpartum not only affects your sex drive, your sexual desire, or like your body image, like it creates body image issues for some, but it also takes a toll on your relationship. Men go through postpartum and women don't know that. A lot of men don't know what it is. And so women perceive it as, I have to do everything for the baby. He's not doing anything. He used to do this. He's not helping.
All the time.
I have so many clients that have told me they feel like a single parent in a marriage.
All the time. I hear that all the time.
And what's really happening is these men are going through postpartum depression as well. They don't know how to cope with that. They don't know how to handle it. So they're kind of shutting out. And then if you're constantly fussing, starting fights and things like that, he's not going to want to talk to you about the things that he's feeling.
Right.
And so when two people, of course, are going through postpartum depression, then you really have issues and you're just drifting further away. And this is also something that I wanted to be able to teach people, like how to maintain that intimacy, because you are challenged in that first part of postpartum. And of course, just because I specialize with working with postpartum women, I do help moms in general, or women, because I want everyone to have amazing sex, especially moms. I want you to know that even with kids, you can have amazing sex. I have a toddler and a special needs child. And when I am dating, my sex life is popping. Kids are your number one hater, but they don't stop this show.
Right. No, but you have to prioritize yourself, and I think that's a message we don't share. But I'm all about prioritizing yourself, because your children will be grown. My son is 20. Be 21 in a couple months. Your children will be grown and gone real soon.
Living their own
life.
If
you haven't prioritized yourself, you got to figure out who you are, what you like all over again. So definitely take care of your children, but you also got to take care of you at the same time. Yes, it's something we have to do.
Right. I teach not only self-care, but sexual self-care.
Oh, good. Sexual self-care.
Yes, sexual self-care could be, if you're into yoni steams, getting a yoni steam, getting a wax, masturbating, exploring your body, just really taking time to really pay attention to what you respond to. Because when you know what you like, then you can communicate that to your partner. Even people are like, I don't want to teach a grown person how to have sex. I don't want to teach a grown.
That's the most
I hate it
ever.
And I'm like, everybody is different.
Everybody's different. You can't expect this person to be an expert on your body when they just
right.
met you. That's so asinine. But I hear it all the time.
All the time. And I'm like, okay, but if you don't know what makes you orgasm, you really cannot expect him to know how to make you orgasm.
85% of women do not achieve orgasm through sex. 85%. So that means most women are just laying here just letting you do what you do, and they ain't get nothing from it.
I had a client tell me one time, it totally blew me away, and I was like, are you serious? Like, people are out here living like this. She said, I've never had an orgasm. I don't even fully get pleasured. She said, I just let him get off and then I finish. And I'm like, no, I'm like, what do you mean you finish? And she's like, I'm done. I said, so do you go masturbate afterwards? And she said, no, I've just kind of accepted the fact that my pleasure doesn't matter.
Ooh.
That blew my mind because I'm like,
so
society has drilled all of these things around sex. It's a big stigma. Like, you're not supposed to do it, especially before marriage. You can't masturbate. You can't touch yourself, all of these things. So this woman really felt like her sexual pleasure didn't matter. And I feel like if your partner gets off and does not make sure you get off, that is selfish. Like, try it.
Listen, this is why, let me back up a couple moments. First, I realized I also practice sexual self-care. Back up. I do the yoni steams. I was waxing, but I did get full body laser. So I don't have to do that. But now I get intimate bleaching, which is so I noticed in my intimate area was darker than the rest of my body. So I use like sugar scrubs to exfoliate, and then I do intimate bleaching where she applies like alpha hydroxy product to lighten that intimate area. So I do that. And I realized I'm doing sexual self-care.
Absolutely, you are.
But back to now, fast forward, back up to what you just said. It is your responsibility to know your body and to know what you like so that you can tell somebody how to please you.
Absolutely.
Me personally, when I meet a man who tells me he does not go down, he does not practice oral sex, you're selfish. Because I'm probably not going to come from whatever you're about to do here. I'm not going to come from that. So if you can't make sure that I'm pleased, this is a non-starter. We're not even going to play.
Absolutely.
We're not even going to play.
And there are two things that you mentioned that I want. Setting sexual boundaries, like you saying, like, if you're not going to do this, then no. A lot of women are afraid to set sexual boundaries, especially people who've been in long-term relationships. And I'm like, regardless of if you set boundaries in the beginning or not, your boundaries will have changed, especially when you become a mom.
Absolutely.
Touched out is a thing.
Touched out?
Touched out. Do you know what that means?
No.
Touched out is when you're overstimulated from being touched by your kid all day. And by the time you come to bed, you do not want to be touched. You want to be left alone. You want to be by yourself for real. And men don't realize that when you get to that point, like, don't touch me. So you've got to find other ways to create intimacy.
What do you do in that moment?
So in moments like that, it doesn't have to be physical sex. You could be intimate in other ways. If I don't want to be held, for instance, ask if I would like a massage. Maybe that would help loosen me up, you know, and then in that moment, maybe I will also be aroused. And this is leading into the second thing that I heard you say when you were saying that you have to give me oral or I may not orgasm. Foreplay. Foreplay is not just the 5-10 minutes before penetrative sex. Foreplay can take place all day long. It can take place hours before. In my
text messages, calls, all of that's foreplay.
In my long distance relationship, one of the things we did was we played the little iPhone games. In between the games, it would be like, you know, we'd start flirting for whatever reason or some kind of way. We'd start flirting. And then from there is, oh, I can't wait to see you. I want to do this. I miss you. Send me a picture. Like, and this was like the way that it went every time we started playing these little iPhone games. And by the time we saw each other, that once a month, like we barely got through the door.
Yeah.
Right? And I'm already ready to go because it builds up that anticipation.
Absolutely.
And that gets your juices flowing.
Yes.
It takes a woman roughly about 45 minutes or so to become fully aroused.
Really?
And your clitoris.
So you 5 minutes, you out, bro. We ain't even scratch the surface.
That is actually part of the reason why a lot of women don't orgasm, because you're not even fully aroused by the time y'all penetrate. By the time he penetrates you and he is done, you're still not even warmed up yet.
Which is why I'm an advocate for foreplay. But foreplay goes both ways, right? But I'm definitely an advocate for it, and I don't know where in the process it like dropped off, but it ain't dropped off for me. Like, I don't know where y'all get this from, but this is how we do it. Yeah.
So if that is one of your must-haves, make that a sexual boundary in the beginning.
Absolutely.
If you have a dude, because I don't know who told men that sticking their tongue in a woman's ear was sexy. I am yet to hear a woman say that that's a turn on.
Stop it now.
But if you got a man that want to stick his tongue in your ear, say, listen, I do not like when you do that. Can you please stop?
Yeah.
If he continues to do that, he's now overstepping your boundaries, and that's a problem. That's a
boundary
red flag.
Like,
yeah.
This is not gonna work.
And then some women are afraid to have the conversation because they feel like they may offend the partner. I had a guy that I dated one time who was a ear licker. And the first time he did it, I was doing like this. And I thought that he would get the hint and just stop, and he wouldn't stop. So finally I did like a hard shrug like that. After the fact, I mentioned, I was like, when you stuck your tongue in my ear, I ain't like that. He was like, so why you didn't just say that?
I did.
And I was like, well, I was moving. I thought you would get the hint. And he was like, just tell me. Like, you think you're going to offend me? It's not going to offend me. So I said that to say, like, don't be afraid to communicate those boundaries.
Yeah. So I have like I set my boundaries. You will wear a condom. You will go down. Like, I set those boundaries very clearly, so that there's no,
right.
Because sometimes people act like they didn't hear you, they didn't know. Well, here are my rules.
They think you play it.
If you don't want to play, we don't have to play, but these are the rules.
Yeah.
Yes.
Absolutely.
To have
I
the
love
opportunity to experience me, you have to play by these rules.
Absolutely. I love it. See, you are already ready. You know what to do.
I have to teach it. I have to teach it to singles. Like, because a lot of times we as women, we don't express how we really feel, and we just accept.
Yeah.
We accept stuff that we don't like.
Yeah.
We pretend like we're satisfied and we're not. We fake orgasms, which is a big
Please
no-no.
stop faking orgasms.
Stop it now. Stop it now. Listen, I'm the type of person to be like, this is not it.
Right.
Like, let me show you what you got to do to get me there, because you ain't doing it.
Right. And you should.
Tell people, you got to give them feedback, because just because he pleasured you doesn't mean he's going to pleasure me. We're two different people.
Right,
and
absolutely.
we need two different things.
Right.
So, and everybody's different.
That is true. Like, you have some people that like clitoral suction stimulation, right? That would be like the Rose toy.
Oh,
The Rose toy had everybody in a chokehold.
Girl, I'm still in the chokehold. Like, when does it get off?
Do you know there's more now? Now they have the Rose with the thrust. She was like, nope, I don't need anything else. The Rose is fine.
Listen, the Rose is in my shower. Like, it is like, it comes with me when I travel. It is my trusted companion. Because it's going to always, it don't miss.
Right. And that's because you like the clitoral suction. That, for those of you who, for whatever reason, have not experienced the Rose or any type of clitoral suction, that's just, it's kind of like getting oral sex, but from a toy. Especially when you have the air pulse technology toys, like those, the womanizer suction toys.
Okay,
like
yes,
that.
I have that too.
Okay,
yes.
so I don't, with the womanizer toy, like as it's sucking, there's like a cool little breeze, like somebody's breathing on it.
It's optional. You can turn that on.
Yeah. So depending on what you like, there's a toy for that.
Yes, there is.
Some people don't like that. Some people's clitoris are too sensitive. They can't handle all that suction. They might like clitoral stimulation. So that's where like a bullet or something would come in.
And that's how I started. It's baby steps. You start with the bullet.
Right.
I have graduated. let's buzz and suck. Let's do both.
Right. I need the Pro 3000, the one that just does it all. Men already think they're about to be replaced. So I have a message.
It's not a replacement.
Right. So I have to tell men, toys are your teammates. They are not your opponents.
Yes.
They are there to assist you.
Yeah. I'm gonna tell you, if I meet a man who is like anti-toy, I don't want you using that, don't bring that to the bed. You already know he is limited in his knowledge about sex, and he's probably not gonna be good in bed because he doesn't understand that we're teammates.
Right.
Because there are things that even while you're doing this and you're doing this very well, this other toy can do something else at the same time. That's your friend. Y'all can work together. Work smarter, not harder.
Right. Why are you intimidated by a toy? I also tell people, like, toys are not going to replace people.
No,
like, I don't care how much they suck, how much they lick, what they do. And it's because at the end of the day, a lot of times we want to be held and squeezed. And I like to be bitten, choked. Like, these toys ain't doing all of that. So.
And also, the toy is not wet. So this is the thing I need you.
Right.
Girl.
Right.
Anyway, let me get back on track.
So I brought some things to talk about. I have lube.
Okay. I've never ever used it. I'm not the only person who's never used it.
I think we started talking about that and we didn't finish. Why you should use lube. Okay. It's because you can experience those microscopic tears that I was talking about, and that can cause problems. It can lead to STIs. You can get infections, things of that nature. The lube just helps everything stay slick. There are different
slide.
Yep.
Okay.
There are different types of lubes. You have your water-based, you have your oil-based, you have your silicone-based, you have your hybrid-based, which is silicone and water. You have aloe-based. Like, so many types of lube. You have flavored lube. You have, like, there's a lube for everybody.
And everybody should be using lube.
Everybody should be using lube.
Okay.
So I'm going to do the lube last because we'll need to get some paper towel or something off. Because I actually want to show you, like, I want you to feel the lube.
Okay, that's good.
Okay.
Education.
So,
I mean, I can't be the only person who's never used lube. I think, I don't know the answer. I just never have.
Okay, so first I want to start with, these are Benoit balls.
Okay.
Okay, so these are great for new moms because you can use these to do pelvic exercises.
Okay.
So you can strengthen your pelvic floor. They have weighted ones.
That goes inside your
inside your vagina, and you're gonna clench and hold.
Okay, so I do use crystals. And I put them up there for different things. Okay. But I was like, what is this? This looks like a crystal, but it's not a crystal.
No, it's not a crystal.
Okay.
This one actually has dual purposes. It comes with a remote. I don't think I brought the remote, but you put this in, it turns on. You can give it to your partner. It's kind of like a panty vibrator toy, but it's inside of you. So you'll get, and it'll buzz and things like that. But it's also weighted, and they have different weights. They have different sizes. They have some that are on strings, connected by silicone. They even have some that are loose.
So it helps strengthen your pelvic floor. Okay.
Yep, absolutely. So if you're a mom and you're struggling to get your libido back, or if you're uncomfortable, because a lot of women are not comfortable during sex. They feel like it's going to hurt, or maybe it does hurt. So those are some things you can start with. With the this
what is
this? A metal dildo, right? This is good because you can do temperature control. You can put it in the refrigerator or the freezer, or run it under cold water. It'll get really cold. And then if you like the cold sensation, of course, you insert it either in. If you like hot things, you can run it under hot water. It's dishwasher safe if you want to put it. But I like this because it's not going to flex too much. It's nice and stern. It's in this C shape so that it hits the G spot. So as you are masturbating with this, you're going to be going up and stroking your G spot.
Oh, nice.
Of course, we have a standard bullet. I should have probably brought this one out before that one. This is what I recommend if you've never had a sex toy. Shay said, I am way past that. Okay. So this is just a standard bullet. It's so old that it has batteries. But this is just a clitoral stimulation. You put it on your clitoris. You can actually also stimulate your nipples. I tell people to take vibrators and actually, like, go down your neck, go down your chest, your stomach, your inner thighs, because you
exploring your body
will learn what you like. Oh, real quick. Well, no, hold on. I'll save that for last. Let me see, what else do I have? I have, like I said, the infamous rose.
The rose.
This is the clitoral suction.
So many people have. Let me tell you that rose.
Look, you gotta hold it
I got my rose from the kitchen. Don't bring it over here because we're doing a show. I gotta keep it peachy. But I love that thing. That thing is amazing.
Yeah. Listen, it's crazy because the rose has gone viral so many times. Yes. And every time it goes viral, them sales spike. Every time it goes viral and I try to order bulk, it's like we are sold out.
Yeah. But the men are intimidated by that rose because women, that rose got women in the chokehold.
The men actually have a new toy.
I thought I got the
Child. It's supposed to be the rose for the men.
For the men, okay.
But this luxury beautiful thing.
Okay,
luxury. This toy has different points to it, different attachments. That's the word I'm looking for. Okay. And I think that this is also good for beginners. It's not that powerful. You have a pinpoint. This is good for clitoral or nipple.
And that's what makes I'm glad you brought it up because the reason why I don't like it's not strong enough. So once you use something like the rose, that thing brings the heat. And you can't go back to the baby step with a little zzz, that ain't gonna do it. You gotta have some power.
Yeah,
oh,
absolutely. So you can take the pinpoint off.
What would you do with the pinpoint?
This is like if you just want light clitoral stimulation, or it's really good. Okay. Again, it's really good for
body.
Yeah.
Girl, you got me. I'm just trying to understand.
Look, she's like, she's like, get this off my set, please.
What you gonna do with the pinpoint? Just let me understand.
They have this little flower thing, which you put it on it and it'll vibrate, and then it can like kind of twirl around on the clitoris and on the nipple. Okay. You can also get like a light feathery touch to the skin, and then this you put it on, Lord Jesus, and it turns it into a G-spot. Stimulator. So you put this on, and if you put lube inside of it, it actually works for sex toys too.
Nice. You know what? I'm glad you mentioned that because some women are like size queens. Like I like for men to be this big, but I'm gonna tell you, if a man is like about that length right there. That length of this little,
the shaft, okay.
No, this part,
okay.
In your hand.
Oh, this part, okay.
If a person is like that size, it might look small, but they hit your G-spot.
Yeah, and it's because of the curve.
The curve, that little size right there is perfect. Like you can't like throw people away because they're not this big. That size right there gets the job done, but it hits your G-spot.
I get a lot of questions about the curve. Like,
that curve.
What do you do with the curve? Oh, Jesus. It was her.
Flashback.
I called him Captain Hook.
Oh.
You get my hook. No.
Yes.
But people always ask, like, what if my partner's curved? You work with the direction of the curve. If you're trying to get a G-spot orgasm, then obviously you need to be in a position where his penis turns upward towards your G-spot. Okay.
But you got to know your body.
You have to know your body.
To know, because I think people don't understand. I think it's like 11 to 12 different ways that women can orgasm. And most of the time we don't understand that. And so you stuck on the clitoris, but all inside of your vagina, there's so many ways you can orgasm.
Which types of orgasms do you know about? Because I want to talk about some.
I just know, I don't know all 12, but I know clitoral, G-spot, A-spot. But if you got some more,
you have your anal, or did you say anal?
I didn't say anal, but I know you can. That's prostate.
There are nipple gasms. Yep, you can get a coregasm. Did you see my video that I posted
when you were working out?
Yep.
You had a coregasm. And I've never had a coregasm.
That one probably is the biggest shocker.
Really?
To people, because they're like, how do you orgasm during a workout? The first time it happened to me was in college, and I thought something was wrong with me. I, at one point, thought that I was like maybe a sex addict or something until I got in this industry, and I was like, well, my sex life has been kind of vanilla.
It's a whole new world. It's a whole new world.
Now that when I got into this industry, I actually learned that there was a thing called a coregasm, and it just happens when your core is engaged. You have to have a strong core for that to happen. Anytime you're doing ab work, crunches, pull-ups, you can have a coregasm and it feels so freaking weird.
Are you like letting out an audible noise?
Yes, I do. I guess everybody would be different, but like that video that I filmed, I felt it coming and I warned my trainer. And he was like, well, just do one more set. It was like...
Did he not believe you? Or
so it was like every time I got to the 5th rep, I started tingling. So I'm doing like this, and no, I was doing pull down. So I was pulling down like this. I got the toy in my hand, and every time I got here, when I got to the 5th one, I started like feeling like a little tingle. And then the more I did it, the weaker my arm was trying to pull it, and the more intense it got. So finally, when I was like, I'm gonna have a orgasm if you don't let me stop. And he was like, just do one more. And I went wham, and I was like, ah, and I wasn't embarrassed because I mean,
you had already told him, yeah.
But like, imagine somebody not knowing what a orgasm is,
or being in the gym and everybody like, whoa, what's happening?
When I posted that video, so many people were like, so are you turned on by your trainer? And I was like, not at all. Like, I wasn't even thinking about sex. I wasn't even thinking about sex. Like, it just happened. So
yeah, that's interesting. Yeah.
But I just wanted to see, you know, I don't know all 12.
I don't know all 12, but some people really do study all 12 and they try to get each one.
Yeah.
But I think you can do different things to get each one, and I think sometimes we limit ourselves. So like, if you don't explore your body, if you don't, you know, understand that there are like a certain curve hits a certain spot. Some people have never experienced those types of orgasms. Like the lady you talked about never had one at all. Bless her heart.
I feel so bad for people. Like, it literally breaks my heart when women say I've never had an orgasm.
It's horrible. But 85% do not have orgasm through penetrative sex. And so that means there are so many people just laying there.
There's a combination or dual orgasms. You can have multiple orgasms at once.
Yes.
Combination orgasms, those are the super intense toe curling.
Back to back to back to back. So I'm that type of person. I can spend a day with my Rose.
We can have a whole session. So some women don't know if they've had an orgasm, and I kind of chuckle and I'm like, oh, you'll know. You know, even if it's like a really small one, you will know. Orgasms are not always what you see on TV. The whole shaking, locking, screaming, like
you don't have to do
twisting.
All of that.
It can happen, but you don't have to do all of that just to have an orgasm.
And one of the things I think that's sad to me from a spiritual perspective, and I don't mean religious, I mean spiritual, because women don't understand their power. There's so much power that we have behind the orgasm. And if you're not tapping into that, you're missing out on a whole thing. There's so much you can manifest. There's so much you can do. There's so much power. And so when we're not taught that, and we're taught this is wrong, this is shameful, you shouldn't do it, you're missing out on your power.
Absolutely.
And I'm sorry, sis, it's so much power. I need it all.
So do you know about the orgasm manifestation?
I do orgasmic manifestations. Absolutely.
And they are very powerful.
You can get, there's a portal that's open during that time that you have access to. You can ask for something during that time and get it. And so I've learned to elongate that orgasm, to speak, and I do affirmations. I do all types of things. I tell you, I have a whole session. It's a whole spiritual session.
So let me ask you this, so people can hear it from you. Like, when that happens, the guy that you're with, when you start talking, like, do you already tell them beforehand that you do it? Okay. So
I'm hippy dippy, and I think I probably present buttoned up, but I'm really not. I'm so hippy dippy. So if you are buttoned up, if you're a prude, if you're super religious, you're not gonna be compatible with me, because I'm into, like I said, I do everything. I'm into it. So yes, I will let him know that this is something I want, and if it's something I'm working toward, then when we have sex, I am going to be speaking out. I'm going to be saying what I want. I'm going to be affirming. I'm going to be manifesting. It's going to be a whole session up in here. Yes, I love it. I just started dabbling in manifestations and all of that, but I have done orgasmic manifestations, and I was completely blown. I was like, whoa, you got to be careful with that. It's powerful. You got to be careful. And so it's really sad when women don't realize their power and they're not able to access that. I'm like, sis, you missing out. Like, you're really missing out. So I wanted to show you one more thing. Okay. We talked about the bullet. Yes. This one is like a bullet intensified. Is my favorite bullet to use. I specifically made sure that this one was charged so that you could see how powerful. Okay. This is the first power. This is the first setting. The first one. This is the first one. The first one. Girl! Girl, that is powerful. This shaking my hand. This is your friend. What's his name? This is Tempest. Okay.
This is your, and this can be purchased at NikkitaGrady.com. Shameless plug.
Yes, I told you I got my toy from Nikkita.
This is a great toy to use during penetrative sex. Put it on your clitoris.
During penetration. It's your friend. It's a partnership.
Yes. You can put it on your clitoris. You can even put it like right where he's starting to stroke, because then he'll feel the vibrations.
Ooh.
Yes, yes, yes.
Okay.
Now that I'm done presenting toys, I do have something I want to present to you.
Ooh, thank you. A gift. I love gifts. Thank you. Let's see what
I
we
hope
have.
that you love this. Okay. So this is the Nova 2.
Nova.
This is a Bluetooth control.
Okay.
Rabbit toy.
Okay, now this looks like it's gonna hit. What is this? The
This
G-spot?
is for your clitoris. This is for your G-spot.
G-spot and clitoris.
This part is extremely flexible, so if you don't, you can bend it back.
Okay, nice.
So if you are on a trip and Bay is here
Okay.
and y'all feeling a little frisky,
Yes.
you can create. You can give him access in the app for him to control the toy.
Oh my, that's too much control, but he would love that.
But I mean, and you can, you know, if he's doing too much or if he's going past
Yes.
any boundaries, of course, you have that ability to stop
yes.
it. But I love this toy because you can use it by yourself, you can use it with your partner, you can use it when you and your partner are away.
Nice. Oh, because he could do it remotely.
Right,
Okay.
remotely, yes.
Nice. Okay,
So
now.
if you on the West Coast and he on the East Coast, it even has in the app where you can FaceTime within the app, so you
I
can
love
see
it.
each other.
That's nice.
Yes.
And that's creating intimacy long
and
distance.
I know that you travel a lot. So
We
I
do,
thought that
yes.
you could-
I do travel, and so that would be great.
Yes.
Okay, this is some lube, which I do not have any lube, so now I have some lube. Thank you, girl.
Yes.
All right, so this is Momentum,
Uh-huh.
and there's two different kinds.
Yes.
One is water and silicone hybrid.
That's the hybrid.
Okay, and this one is, it just says magnify
I think
momentum
it's
filled.
silicone.
Okay.
This one, yep, silicone.
This is silicone, and this is silicone
Yes.
water hybrid. Okay. And then what's in here?
So this is called arousal oil.
Arousal.
Oil. So if you take this oil and rub it on your clitoris in between your labia, about 15-20 minutes before sex, it heightens the experience.
Oh.
For
give you a
me
review on
personally, it made things are already messy, but it made them even more messy.
Oh.
Like this stuff, I swear by it. Everyone is different. I bought some for my best friend. She was like, it didn't do anything different for her.
So I'll tell you, I'll let you know.
Yeah, you have to let us know. Everybody wants to know.
y'all really want to know?
And
I
then
don't think they
these
wanna know.
are
These are some pills?
No, those are suppositories.
Oh,
Those
they
are
go
vaginal,
inside.
Vaginal suppositories.
Okay.
You would insert those about 30-40 minutes before sex.
And what does this do?
That does the same thing as the arousal. The
Okay.
two together.
Do it together.
You can do them together, but make sure you know.
What are we talking about here? What? Make sure I know what.
Make sure you know everything is going to be intensified. The feelings, your orgasm, like
I will let y'all know.
so.
Okay, and
And then
this-
these are just some condoms.
some condoms, because you always got to be
Always
safe.
gotta be safe.
Yes, thank you so much.
You are
I
very
appreciate
welcome.
that.
Okay, so
This is
would
so-
we be able to get paper towels or anything if I showed you?
Yeah, I
Okay.
think we can do that. Let's see.
I'm sorry, I probably should have asked for this.
Yeah, no worries. Okay, thank you so much for the
You
gift.
are very
This
welcome.
is so
I
educational
can't
and
wait
informative.
Okay.
Thank you.
So, as I mentioned, there are different types. This one is the water-based
This is
lube.
what you got me.
So
Okay.
this is the most to your natural moisture because it will dry up. Like you will have to keep reapplying this
Okay.
as you know, sometimes you might get aroused or be wet and sometimes you'll
keep
dry
applying.
up.
So you
Right.
bring this to the bed with you.
You can bring this to the bed with
Okay.
you. Be generous.
Add a lot of it.
Be
Okay,
generous.
Okay.
Here we have the organic aloe, and this just has aloe mixed in with it. This is the hybrid, which is a mix of the silicone and the water. And then we have the silicone.
Okay.
So, silicone lube should not be used with silicone toys. The silicone can break down the silicone in the toy.
Okay.
Okay, so I just want you to feel this. It is very light.
This
It
is the water?
This is the water base. They all feel like this. They just serve different purposes.
Okay.
But it's not sticky.
It's not thick.
It's not thick.
And it does feel like
It
natural.
feels very
Yeah.
natural.
Feels like
right?
what you would feel like.
if you had that walk. No, I'm just playing. I am just playing because seriously. You should still use it even if you have a walk.
But seriously, it does feel like that.
Do you have any questions for me?
No, I feel like we talked about a lot of things. This was so informative. Okay, what about do men use lube?
Yes.
For what?
Yes. Men use the lube to minimize friction. So if you are tighter than what he is normally penetrating through, there could be friction there if there's not enough moisture.
Is there a lube that you would use for anal versus vaginal?
They do have lubes that are specifically for, but typically you want to use water-based.
Water-based is better for anal.
Yeah.
Okay.
But if you search, like they actually have lube that says anal lube.
So specifically for that.
Okay. But you can use water-based lube. I mean, you can use any, but it's recommended to use the water-based.
Okay. What other questions do we have? This was so good, girl. I appreciate it.
I guess we could talk about, I know you really wanted to touch on moms and sex, so I guess we could go back and talk about how moms can have a really healthy sex life. Scheduling sex.
Scheduling.
Do you schedule sex?
I'm a Capricorn. We like to schedule.
Okay.
We really do.
So a lot of people say, I'm not scheduling sex. Why not?
But when you have, your schedule is busy. Like, so I own multiple businesses and I have a toddler.
Right.
So I love to schedule, like, this is our day, and I will block off a day for you. You know, if you're so deserving,
right?
I will block off a day for you, and then that's your day. But I love to schedule.
So this is what happens. People think if you schedule sex that it can be predictable. You are scheduling the day and the time. You're not scheduling the activities. You're not scheduling the location.
Absolutely.
Also, when you put it on the calendar, you prioritize it. Because what do we do with the things that we prioritize? We make sure that it gets done. So if it's on the calendar, if it's on the to-do list, you're going to want to check it off, right? Sex in the morning. The biggest complaint I get from moms is, oh, I'm so tired when we get in bed. I've been with the kids all day. I've been running errands. I've been cooking. I've been cleaning. Once I get in the bed, I'm done. So have sex in the morning. As soon as you wake up, roll over. A lot of people worry about morning breath. I don't know what you guys do that y'all have this breath that is so horrendous that you can't face your partner. But I mean, there are positions you can do, and I'm sure you guys will cover that later on. That'll be on another episode. On another episode. So there are different positions that you can do in the morning, like any type of doggy style, cuddling, spooning type positions like that. Other things that you could do is make sure you take advantage of nap times. Make sure that you are experimenting with quickies. Like it doesn't always have to be slow sex.
It doesn't always have to be in the bedroom.
It does not change your environment. If you always have sex in the bedroom, on the left side of the bed, in missionary position, please switch up your position, switch up your environment. Like, you will be surprised at how sexy you feel when y'all are in the kitchen and he's picking you up, putting you on the table.
Or take a staycation, like hotel. Like for me, hotels just do something. I don't know what it is, like, but being away is a thing.
And I love having hotels with a nice view.
A balcony.
Yes.
A balcony is dangerous.
Give yourself permission to feel desired. I actually just had to tell my client this week because she's like, sex is the furthest thing from my mind. I'm so stressed out. And I said, please do me a favor. Take a moment and give yourself permission to feel desired. Because she said her husband keeps bringing up sex and she doesn't want to talk about it. And so she was like, you know what? I do need to do that. Thank you. So if you give yourself permission to feel desire, then you won't be so quick to shut it out. You won't be so quick to be like, oh, I don't want to be touched.
And also, I want to touch on this because after I had Ava, I had gained a lot of weight and breastfeeding for 2 years. Do what you need to do to like what you see in the mirror. So for me, I lost 70 pounds. I had a breast reduction. This is not
look good.
This is not mommy body. This is Shay body. Like this is mine. And when I walk past the mirror, I'm attracted to me. So that's important to me to be. You got to have the hots for you. Because I'm attracted to me, you're going to be attracted to me too.
Absolutely.
And it's going down because I love what I see. And then you have a mirror in the room and you can just look at yourself and it just makes it all. It just bring it all together.
Right.
But you got to do what you got to do.
Absolutely.
Get in the gym, do what you got to do to like what you see in the mirror.
Right.
Because sometimes, you know, your body goes through so many changes during the pregnancy, and you got to reclaim your body.
You also
back.
have to give yourself grace.
Yes.
You have created
A life.
and grew.
Yes. Yes.
Let's take a moment to say how amazing the woman's body is. You actually grow a human being and carry it for approximately 40 weeks.
Yes.
And then you push it out, or you have to be cut open to get it out.
All of that. Yes.
You can't expect to look like you looked in the 11th grade.
No. Why would you want to?
3 kids.
No. But this is a new body that you're going to have. You're not going to look the same.
And I tell people, if you want to get surgery, get surgery. If you want a BBL,
do whatever you need to do.
I had a tummy tuck before I had Empress.
Do whatever you need to do.
And so I'm like, I feel like I got the tummy tuck because I didn't like what I saw in the mirror. The stretch marks, the oatmeal cream pie, like I hated it. People are like, but you're small. It had nothing to do with that. And I'm like, I'm not doing this for no man. No one has ever complained about how I looked. I just did not like what I saw.
It's for you.
It's for me.
Yeah. Everything needs to be for you. Like, I didn't do anything.
Do you have a sexy routine, like something that you do that just makes you feel sexy?
Beyonce makes me feel sexy.
Beyonce does
Beyonce makes me feel, Rihanna make me feel so sexy.
Janae,
makes me feel really sexy. So I turn on Alexa, Alexa knows my station. And I feel so sexy, absolutely.
Is there anything you add to that, or you just like, do you have a perfume that makes you feel sexy?
I have lingerie, I have perfumes, my music, I'll do a whole dance routine in the mirror,
These are things that you can do as a new mom. That can help you start to feel desire again. Take the time. For me, when I'm freshly waxed and I get in the shower.
That's such a turn on when you get waxed.
Yes.
Why is that? I just think having somebody's face that close, I'd be like, child,
Lord, please don't let.
Girl, I don't know what it is, but I'd be like, this is not.
It is hilarious. But when I'm freshly waxed, I like to go home. I like to put on my exfoliating gloves and actually exfoliate my full body with that body scrub. And then I get out and I slowly and sensually rub myself down.
Oil,
I'll take some oil and literally just rub my arms like this all the way down until I'll put on sexy lingerie. I'll turn on music, and like Shay says, I like to dance in the mirror. You can't tell me I'm not something like a stripper when I'm in this sexy zone.
Girl,
I got all the moves.
I put on a whole show for myself.
And when you do that, it makes you feel sexy. And when you feel sexy, it builds your confidence.
Absolutely.
And when you're confident in the bedroom,
that's the thing. That's why I said you got to do it for you. You got to like what you see in the mirror, because when you feel like, I'm the bomb, then he's gonna feel it, or she's gonna feel it, whoever you're sleeping with, they gonna feel it because you feel it.
Absolutely.
It's
so
energy.
This is why, even when you don't want to, or if you want it and you just don't have the desire, just do it. Just do something. Start with reading erotica, watching porn. You can listen to an erotic audio. If you got somebody you fantasize about, fantasize about them while you touch yourself.
Yes. All of the above.
And
hot bubble bath.
Hot bubble bath.
Oh my God. You can take the rose in the tub with you and have a whole session. Drink you a little wine. Girl, I have my whole little session. Drink me a little wine. Have my music playing.
Is in love with this rose.
Me and the rose, we have a relationship. We have an understanding.
If Rose was a person,
that's a whole song.
Listen, that is crazy. Yes. But we as moms, sometimes we neglect ourselves, especially sexually. I had one client who felt like her body was not hers anymore. That happens when we're breastfeeding. And because we feel like it belongs to our baby and not us, of course we don't want to be touched in any type of sexual way. So just don't try to rush into it. Go at your own pace. But just know that you will not have a sexual desire forever unless you don't do anything about it.
Yeah, and if you are suffering with low sex drive and inability to get back on track, then reach out to Nikkita.
Reach out to me.
Yes, and she can coach you through regaining your sex life. This has been so good. I really appreciate you coming out and talking to us.
Thank you for inviting me.
Yes, and I wish you the best on your prosperity for your business. You have several businesses going. You have your sex toys and the coaching.
I'm in the process of getting ready to start a community for moms.
Nice.
I don't know if you know, but I used to blog about being a single parent with a special needs child. And the name of the blog was Phenomenal Days. So, and days was spelled D-A-Z-E, and it was because we're moms and we're phenomenal, but sometimes it feels like we're going through life in a daze. So I want to create a community around that name, that brand, and I want it to be a place for moms to be able to connect, come together, talk about things like this. Like, I was at home all day and cleaning up, and this dude just came in and didn't want to help and thought he was gonna get some, and other people can say, you know, I know exactly what that feels like. Or I can come in and say, okay, well, maybe you guys need to have a conversation. Let your partner know what you feel, how you feel, and then next time that won't be the case. I want them to be able to talk about sex. I want them to be able to talk about intimacy. I want them to see that other people are relating to them and they aren't suffering alone.
You're not by yourself. Yeah, absolutely.
Basically, I just want everybody talking about the effects that postpartum does have on your sex.
And we need to talk more. So because this is not, like you said, it didn't just happen for you. It's happening for several people. Some people been in postpartum a long time and still ain't got it back.
And that's another thing. I reached out to someone and I knew that they were having issues with their sex life postpartum. And she never contacted me back. So she was on my mind one day. I reached out to her and I asked if she would be open to free coaching from me. And she said, I mean, I could be, but my daughter's 3, I'm not postpartum anymore.
You're still postpartum.
But you are still postpartum.
Yeah.
So,
and I think it's just awareness. So you're doing a good job of getting the word out and sharing. I love your videos, very informative. And thank you for the demonstration of the toys and the lube. And now I know I need to be using lube every time. So if you are so fortunate as to experience me, you're going to have some lube in the game. So
that is hilarious.
Thank you so much, Nikkita. All the best to you.
Thank you.